If you can just get this one method right, you'll sail through life, you'll make less mistakes, and you'll be the most consistent you have ever been. You'll fly past everybody, and when you look back, you'll see all of your friends are in the exact same situation. And this is a quote that my dad gave me, probably from the years and years in jail he's done. He told me, you need to learn how to be bored, which is a crazy concept when you think about it. Learning how to be bored. A lot of times people say, oh, you need to learn this skill, you need to learn that skill. I've got tons of videos online showing like different skill trees you need to be able to learn. But the one concept of learning how to be bored has really revolutionized the way I see life. Because boredom is the number one source for all of trouble. A lot of times throughout my life, I went through situations where I would get into fights, I would mess around at school, I'd go and get shiny object syndrome, and I'd try loads of different things. And my dad would always sit me down, he'd say, son, you need to get used to the reality of the world. And the truth is that being successful is boring. Doing good things is boring. And that really struck me. You see, I've read a lot of books from famous entrepreneurs and a lot of autobiographies, and these people are actually fairly boring. They always say, like, when you see me on the catwalk or you see me, at the pinnacle of my career doing crazy things, that's just one peak. But when you look at my life, it's actually pretty boring. Andy Frisella was always saying he only does 3 important tasks a day. He writes them down the day before, and then the next day he goes and gets them done. Once they're done, that's the end of his day. And it was very similar to myself. When I started out e-commerce, Amazon FBA, drop shipping, Facebook Marketplace drop shipping, and all of these other businesses, I would do it for a few days. I would get the thrill. And then once it became repetitive, I would move on to something else. I would always get these dopamine spikes. Whenever I'd see a new opportunity, a new money making scheme, I would jump upon it. And then I had to come to that realization that I should just stick out one thing over and over again because it comes in wave. It's exactly the same as crypto. A lot of crypto influencers right now that were just there for the money have moved on to something else. They've moved on to another finance opportunity, another business model, OnlyFans marketing, all these other different methods of making money. But they didn't stick with crypto. And the ones that have made a lot of money, they just stuck to the same old content. Even in terms of e-commerce, look at the e-com king. He stuck to his style of content when everybody moved away from drop shipping and moved back onto, crypto and private sales and all these different fast money making schemes. And now people have all lost their money in crypto. They've came back to e-commerce and learning methods of making money online. And as you can see, the e-com king is trending again. So you have to be able to do the mundane tasks and to do the same thing over and over again. It's exactly the same if you're starting out and you're a beginner in this space. You have to remember that you're probably going to do sales calls, learning skills online, building websites, and the mundane tasks that nobody talks about. You have to do these tasks every single day, and it might be a little bit mundane and repetitive. When I first started out, it felt like every single day was the same. My Mondays felt exactly the same as my Fridays and my Saturday nights. It was no different. I wasn't going out and partying. I wasn't having fun with my friends. And what you actually realize is if you stay in on those few days, after a few weeks, you realize how much of a waste of time it is and how much of an advantage you get for your consistency. Because while you are pulling up and doing the same thing Friday to Sunday, most people are wasting that time and then they're going back to work Monday to Friday trying to make up for the money that they spent on the weekend, while you are consistently building up and working towards your goals. And yeah, you might not have success straight away, but because you're looking at things from a long-term landscape, especially if you're looking at some of my older videos, you will understand that you just need to focus on the broad spectrum of things. And there are so many times where you can miss out on opportunities because you're not learning to be bored and learning that you can really just sit back and do nothing. You don't have to always be active. There's 2 types of people in this world. They're the people which are the busybodies and they've got so much on their plate, but they're not actually doing anything. And there are people which don't do nothing at all, procrastinators. And from being in both of those positions, I've got some great advice for you. If you're somebody that is a procrastinator, then you need to look at your day and you need to figure out where you are procrastinating. This can often be done on both sides by simply putting a 30-minute timer on your phone, and every time that 30 minutes pings off, I want you to write down what you're doing. Obviously, if you're at work or if you're at school, then you don't want to have your 30-minute timer on during those time periods. But before and after, I definitely recommend having them on, especially before work. You can often find yourself with that extra 1 hour and 2 hours where you usually let it breeze by because you're building up for work, which you could actually swap that with some more beneficial things. Same as after. I had a weird experience when I got mentorship and I was given this advice by John Gab. Always shout out John Gab. But I would find myself being in weird situations when this 30-minute alarm would go off. It would actually ping, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, hold on a sec, I'm wasting time here. I'm actually not doing what I should be doing. When I tell myself that I'm busy or I've got so much things going on or I don't understand why things ain't working, when my alarm's going off, I'm on PlayStation. When it's going off, I'm on FaceTime to my friends. When it's going off, I'm for some reason just like walking about doing doing like random things. And it made me realize, hold on a second. After I tracked this for a week, which I definitely recommend you do, 30-minute timer, just do it for a week. And then I looked at things from a broad spectrum. I realized there was actually hours that I was wasting when I could have actually been committing myself to doing something which was actually entertaining and obviously helping myself progress in the long run. Now, then this brings me on to the busybodies. If you're a busybody and you always seem to have multiple plates spinning, then you need to take into consideration the 80-20 principle. This is a principle where you look at everything that you are doing and you look at the top 20% of the things that you could be doing that will benefit your life right now. And then you get rid of the rest, you get rid of that 80%, throw it away, completely cancel it. And of course, it's not going to be easy. It's going to require sacrifice, but getting successful isn't easy. Don't let these social media influencers scam you. It's not easy. You will have to make sacrifices, but it's going to allow you to achieve the life you want and a lot faster than you could ever imagine because you're going to focus all of your time and energy into these top 20% of things. I'll give you an example. Recently, I was at a shisha cafe, which is where I spend a lot of my time these days in Dubai, and I met somebody who was a real estate agent. He was also doing social media marketing. He was doing events management. He was networking. He was doing all of these different businesses. And in the end, when he asked me for some advice, I just asked him, I said, look, I know you're doing all of these things and you are very good at doing all of them, but please tell me which one right now, not in the future, which one right now is making you the most money? And he sat down and he thought for a moment. He really had to think. He was like, oh yeah, but a state agent can make me a lot. And I said, yeah, great. But which one right now is actually making you money? Like we just sat down and we just wrote down, this job, this much, events reselling, this much, this job, this much. How much are you making from which ones make you the most? And he said, well, actually, it's interesting. At the moment, the one that's making me the most is social media marketing because he already had some great clients with it. He'd been doing it for a few years, but he was just trying to excel himself and do better in different industries, which is completely fine, may I say. So I said to him this, you have all of this energy and you're doing all of these things, but imagine what you could achieve if you focused all of your energy into social media marketing. You got your offer right. You reached out to the right clients. You increased the price of your service. Maybe you scaled it up in a certain area. Maybe you do social media marketing just for real estate agents, right? Maybe you partner with somebody that can do some great work and you really put the effort into just real estate social media marketing. And it really blew his mind. It really blew his mind because it actually made sense to him because he was like, hold on a sec. I'm only spending, an hour, 2 hours a week on my social media marketing agency, but it's actually making me the most. Yeah, I'm having to do 8 hours a day as a real estate agent, which in the long run might work out. But right now, it's not paying the bills. Even as a real estate agent in Dubai, it usually takes you 4 to 6 months to receive a payment. So even if he sold £1 million house, he's not getting his payment anytime in the near future. And this is why the 80-20 principle can be so powerful for anybody in any business model that you're doing. Doesn't matter whether you're thinking in terms of like, where do I put my energy in terms of a business sense, or you're just thinking about where do I put my energy in terms of my time. If you really break down what you're doing and you've got all of these plates spinning and you think, okay, My goals are actually to become successful, or you can identify whatever goal you want to do. Then you can really trim the fat, put all your energy into the top 20% of things, and you'll become successful at that. Obviously, once you learn how to be bored and you sit back and you think, okay, you know, I may have to only do three things today. I may only have to just reach out to clients, send some proposals, study a little bit of sales, and that's it, right? You and you learn that, okay, in this after hours time, maybe I read a book, you can even watch a movie, you can do whatever you want, but you just know that you've done the right thing and you learn how to be bored. You'll realize the sheer impact that you can have with compound interest, because you're going to be a lot more consistent and you're not going to worry about burnout. You'll never get burnout because you're never going to be doing too much. You're always going to be doing just the right amount. You'll see the sheer amount of consistency over 1,000 days, over 2 to 3 years, when every single day, Monday to Sunday, you just worked on your own things, worked on your own skills. Before you know it, you'll be making a lot of money and you'll have a lot of success in that industry. Now, believe me, because my life on social media might look crazy. You might see me flying around the world, everywhere I goes in business class. I can buy whatever I want. I don't ever have to look at the price of the bill. But when you look at my days are simple. I wake up, I do 2 YouTube videos, I go on, some sales calls, I hop in the side hustle club community. That's the community where I teach you how to make money online. The link in that is in the description. I'll show you how to do it completely for free. Shameless plug, I know. But that's it. They're the only things I have to do. And I know if I stay at that for a consistent period of time, I will achieve my goals, which is obviously a legacy and to also make $100 million over the next 2 to 3 years. And it's not going to be a challenge to do so because I'm learning how to be born, and I'm understanding just how easy it is to stay consistent when you look at the long term. So as always, guys, thank you very much for tuning into Ty's Talks. Hopefully you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening. I appreciate your time. And if you want to learn more about making money online or the crypto market, please subscribe to this channel and let me know in the comments if you have found this helpful and if you are somebody that is a procrastinator or if you are a busy body. And hopefully I have given you some advice to solve that and to benefit you in the future. Peace.